Welcome to the Language Learners Lounge podcast, where we discuss and learn more about the wonderful world of learning foreign languages. The views, opinions, and suggestions mentioned in today's episode are that of the hosts and guests and do not reflect any actual research unless otherwise mentioned or cited. Thank you for listening and enjoy this week's discussion. And bonjour, bonsoir, tout le monde. Welcome everybody to another episode of Language Learners Lounge. We are very excited to have you guys here today. This is our 7th episode. We are coming up really quick on reaching our 10th episode. It is coming really fast. So, welcome you all. We're happy to have you here. My name is Kyler Lopez.
And I'm Joshua Flood.
And of course, we are back again. This time we have a few tangents to go on for our discussion.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So, me personally, I'm kind of excited because these are tangents I will always have about language learning. I don't know about you, Josh, but when it comes to like learning things like verbs, that gets a little tedious sometimes in other languages.
Yeah. Especially when it's like in English, when it comes to conjugating verbs, we don't we have different things, different conjugations, but like when you get into other languages, it's like very different.
It is very different, and that's always one of the interesting things about learning different languages. For those that were able to catch it, I did a brief introduction in Haitian Creole. The nice thing about that one is you don't have to conjugate that much.
Mm-hmm. There's
Um,
very small conjugations, but it's not like you conjugate the verb, it's more if you conjugate the verbs around the words around it to make that verb conjugated.
yeah, yeah, it's similar. I had a friend who said that Tahitian and Haitian Creole are one and the same when it comes to conjugating verbs. That there's not really much you have to do except for like add a word for like past or present.
Yep.
Now, I will have to fact check with him if it's different in the sake of like masculine or feminine with Tahitian, because I myself don't know Tahitian.
Yeah, I don't either, so I can't fact check.
Yeah, so maybe that's maybe that's something I can fact check right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Tahitian, because I know most times most languages do deal with masculine or feminine. We had
Mm-hmm.
an entire episode about that, but
Yeah.
but now we're talking like conjugating verbs, which deal with I, you, he, she, things like that.
She, he, us, they, us, you all, they, it, they, them, things like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting when we think about those kind of languages. We have like Spanish, Italian, we have Portuguese, French, Russian, even.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the ones you may not even realize are the ones that tend to have them. I mean, you do have
Yeah.
your more common ones like German and whatnot that do have those specific, I, you, me, he, she
Yeah.
kind of conjugations. But then other ones like Haitian Creole, you don't got to worry about it. And I believe Chinese
Yeah.
is the same way too.
Yeah, Chinese is the same way. They don't have conjugations for that. I mean, they have like things like if you want to say you're doing something right now, you would say like zai you would say like zai xue zhongwen, things like that. You would say that's what you would say if you're doing something like right now, like I'm studying Chinese right now at the moment.
Yeah.
But like if you were to just say if you were to just say I study Chinese versus you study Chinese, it's just kind of the same. They kind of just do it. You kind of just say the verb the same way. Xue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of the
你学 like 你学中文，我学中文。
yeah. And it's similar to Haitian Creole, you don't have to do much to say like I speak. Ou parle créole, moi parle créole. You get things like those. but it's
Yeah.
different in, like Spanish, where you have to say like "tú hablas español."
¿Tú
Yo
hablas
hablo
español?
español. You change
Ujú,
that ending there.
ujú. Tú hablas, yo hablas. Wait, yo hablo. I screwed that up.
Oh, it happens to everybody. It's okay.
Hablas español. Hablo español.
There we go. Oh man, I cannot tell you within the past week how many times I have done something like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, because last week, to catch everybody up, if they just like popped in, like this is the very first episode they're listening to, which if it is, kudos to you. If it's not, mega kudos to you. Um, I've been traveling a lot for a job I've taken up as a youth camp counselor for our church, and my session last week was actually Spanish supported. So we had some of our companies or groups of youth who were specifically Spanish speaking. I unfortunately did not have one of those groups, but I did
Oh,
get to
that
help.
stinks.
Yeah, I know. I did get the chance to interact with those youth, though. So I did get the chance to use some Spanish when I did interact with them. And then I even conducted one of the specifically Spanish specific speaking classes that they had going on for the youth. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember this was like the very first time I ever had a language glitch, which is what I call my big stuttering when I'm trying to speak. That was the very first time I ever had a language glitch in Spanish happening. And it was in front of a lot of kids. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I can definitely say that I've definitely have seen you have like language glitches when we were on our missions together in serving.
they were
Yeah.
so bad on the mission.
Yeah, especially with how much you had to speak to people in different languages.
Well, and the funniest thing is, the language glitches would only really happen when I was speaking English at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I really have to channel my English for the podcast, but in the times I didn't have to channel it, it was so bad. It was really, it was laughable bad. It was that kind of bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure somebody could have listened to me and thought I had a stroke with how bad they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, I, I remember I was trying to say something along the lines of like, yo comenzando con un himno, but it wouldn't come out properly. I kept going yo go yo go, and at some point I was just like, oh my gosh, and just like step back and laugh, while all the youth and even the teachers laughing, which of course I'm used to.
hmm
And then that's when I that's when I walk back and I'm like, tengo muchos idiomas en mi cabeza ahora. so, and so at that point, the counselors who have heard the stories about my mission and have heard how many languages I've taken up, they're like, we get it.
Yeah.
But then all the other kids, some of them are just laughing a little bit lighter. One of them is on the floor, laughing harder. So, you get that good slight trade off with that one.
Yeah.
And that, having to think about, verb conjugations doesn't help with those language glitches. I'm being honest. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
It certainly does not. No.
But the nice thing about it, though, is that at least with Spanish and Portuguese, you can discern the difference. German also, you can discern the difference. Well, German to an extent.
To an extent, like I mean, if I recall, like the V and like the I forget what they were. It was like Z like they. It's like they when it's used as they and not as she.
Yeah.
It use like say the word was hopping, and they would use that. They would use the same one, so it's a bit
Yeah.
different. But like yeah, as you said with like Spanish and Portuguese. normally sometimes they'll even outright drop the subject
Yeah.
because it's like like the verb itself includes that there is a includes the subject itself. I think it's the same in Italian, if I recall.
It's a little bit the same in Italian. Italian kind of follows a mixture of like the Spanish and French kind of conjugation system. So it's like kind of the same
Yeah,
as German, but also not.
yeah,
But
yeah. The thing, yeah, from what I know, is just like sometimes it French is probably one of the it's like the only big romance language that you have to say the subject before, but that's partially because well, I don't know like the official historical reason, but I think a part of that is because the verb sounds similar even though we know it's conjugated.
yeah, that's like one of the biggest parts about when you start learning the conjugations to French is you get to that point where once you learn the conjugations, it's kind of hard to tell if you've properly conjugated it because they sound so similar.
Yeah. And I mean except for the nu and vu form.
Yeah, those are kind of the only ones. That's the other thing that kind of tripped me up the first time I learned French is when you have the they conjugations, you don't pronounce that ent ending.
Yeah, that tripped
That's
me up too. I was like,
like
"What?
I
You
remember,
don't say that?"
like I remember the first time I ever saw that. Um, I was actually blessing the sacraments in church, and they have the uh, what's the line that they may witness unto thee. That's the line I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
of. They conjugate uh, the verb witness or to like bear testimony of with the they, and I remember saying it as témoignant because that's how I thought it was
Hmm.
supposed to be said because that's I see the ent ending, and then I have the Haitian who's looking over the French version of the sacrament blessing. He leans up to me and he's like, "You pronounce it témoigne," and I'm like, "Oh." like,
Yeah.
it was a silent moment where I'm just sitting there before I re-bless it, like,
Ah, yeah.
and then that's when I go back, I say it again, and then that's when I look back and I'm like, did I do it right? And
Yeah.
then yeah, he gives me the big thumbs up, or I guess in the words of Kronk from Kronk's New Groove, I got the big
Oh
thumbs
yeah.
up from Poppy, and so
Oh yeah, yeah. I was thinking of like, oh yeah, it's all come together. But that's what I thought you were talking about. But I
that
think that makes
situation
much
also
more sense.
applies, and that's it. That quote also
Yeah,
applies
but
to
I
that
get it. Kronk's
situation.
new groove, the thumbs up. Yeah, I get that
Yeah,
now.
I mean that same quote also applies to that situation because now that I've learned it, I would be sitting back in that pew after blessing the sacrament now, and then just like Kronk, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's all coming together.
Yeah. I think just to say, I think the way I like to think about it is that you know how in Spanish ish they would have those boot verbs where you would go where they would where you in order for stem changers you'd have to do like yo tu like the yo tu ella usted and ustedes form would all ellos ellas ustedes would they'd have a boot, and those are the ones that you have to stem change. But when it
Yeah,
comes to changing the nosotros and vosotros form, if we use nosotros form,
yeah, if they use it.
yeah, if they use it, I mean most Spanish speakers don't, because like, or I don't think so. At least
Well,
Latin America, I don't think they do.
I was about to say, I haven't met many modern day Spanish speakers that use vosotros. The only time I've really seen vosotros in Spanish has been like when I'm reading my scriptures or reading the Bible
Yeah,
in Spanish. That's
reading the
like the only
Bibles.
time I've seen vosotros. Otherwise, I hear them go to like ustedes.
Hmm. Yeah, and I don't know about like how Spain does it. I think that's really the main place it comes from.
I
But
want to say so because I know on Duolingo they focus you on the Spain kind of Spanish.
yeah, yeah, and same with schools as well, typically. I mean, unless your teacher just wants to be different and do the more Latin version.
I was about to say,
Well, the Latin America version.
I remember some of the teachers I had in high school. Never took any of their classes, but I know they were all very Latin American. So a
Yeah,
lot of them were like either Cuban or Mexican Spanish,
yeah,
whatever the case may be.
yeah. And
Wow.
I'm not saying like any Spanish is like inferior or anything.
Yeah.
I think there's benefits to all types of Spanish. Same like there's benefits to all types of English. And like sometimes I think, which yeah, a bit small tangent, but like sometimes I think the word that they use in the England is sometimes better than the American version, while the word sometimes the word that we use in America is better than the word that they use in the UK. Just
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that.
yeah,
I remember that was like a big discussion point we had at one point in my previous session because it was Spanish supporting. We had almost all Spanish speakers staffing the session, which
hmm
is super amazing, really fun.
yeah,
My biggest highlight from working with the staff is the very long and occasional Spanglish that we throw out there, which actually was so fun. I really miss it, honestly.
yeah,
It's like I go about the day and I'm interacting with others and I'm like, man, I wish there was Spanglish right now. Like, but I remember that was one of the big topics we were talking about is how different some of the Spanish, uh, dialects are in different regions.
yeah,
Because the Spanish-speaking return missionaries we had came from like Mexico, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, Argentina, all different kinds of places. A few from the DR,
yeah,
and so
yeah,
it's interesting to hear. We can still communicate very universally in Spanish, but some of their like slang is very different.
yeah. I
Which,
think if I recall, like some sometimes like when it comes to the word short, some would say like chor, while others would say like pantalones cortos.
yeah,
As so, things like that is what I think what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah, it's like that. Man, that's something to research on and bring into an episode. The different kind of
Yeah,
Spanish slang from different regions.
yeah.
I gotta,
I think we can maybe save that for another day.
yeah,
But
that's something I gotta look up and bring to a future episode.
yeah, yeah. If you guys want to see that, we'll gladly do an episode on that. It will be so fun.
That is if we don't end up making it the next week's episode.
Yeah, we could.
Because there is still that
You never
chance.
know. You never know.
Yeah, we never know what'll happen. But yeah, it's like the only time. Like I remember in that same session, we would always throw around like usted for anybody we didn't know. Never once did we ever use vosotros unless we were quoting scripture. Really.
Yeah.
So it makes it
So yeah,
interesting.
that's kind of the main. So I still think that if you're planning on like reading the Bible or any other scripture in Spanish, I would recommend at least understanding the vosotros form.
Yeah.
Though in everyday speak, if you're only going to use it for everyday speech, don't really worry about it.
Yeah.
Since, unless you're planning on going to Spain,
Unless you're
but
planning on going to Spain.
yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, the conjugations for vosotros aren't even that bad.
yeah,
I mean,
I I
especially
actually don't think either.
present form. Past
Mm-hmm.
form, really all I've seen that's different in the past form for Spanish is just like they add the accent mark. Sometimes they change the last letter, but then it's like you add the extra emphasis at the end. So like I remember we used to have a board that asked everybody, "What did you learn in class?" And it would say "¿Qué aprendiste?"
Mm-hmm.
on it, and it's still similar to like aprender, like aprendes,
Mm-hmm.
but the difference is they change the last letter and they add the emphasis, so now it's aprendiz,
Mm-hmm.
aprendiste. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. That's one of the things that is interesting about Spanish. Past conjugations in comparison to like what it is with, say, French past tense.
Yeah.
Because I know the way I've heard general past tense verbs in French is you conjugate the to have
Yeah,
verb as the start, and then you have an extra past participle conjugation you throw in at the end of, uh,
yeah.
at the end
I
of the verb.
Yeah, that's normally the way I've heard that they do pass as tense form. Which is kind of similar to the Spanish's present perfect form.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. And yeah, present perfect form, except they use the word haber. They conjugate haber. Did I
Spanish
say
is just not
haber?
working for you today, is it?
I know. I pronounced the H. Gosh dang it. Aber. You conjugate the aber, the verb aber, and then you do the past participle.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Like I've always said in like prayers for like uh the blessings we've received, in French at least, I've always said it, you know, la, la bénédiction nous avons reçue. You know, I've always said
Mm-hmm.
it like that. But then it's different when it's like, the blessings we receive, present tense, where it's la bénédiction nous recevons.
Mm-hmm.
It's different that way. But you also have to be very careful when you're conjugating like I, you, he, and she, because those sound way too similar.
Yeah.
Because I mean, to take it back to like the example that we had with like you speak this, I speak this as well. In Spanish it's pretty easy, because it's yo hablo español, tú hablas español.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear that fine difference in the conjugation there. But
Yeah.
but
In
then
case that you miss the subject, you can also like just catch it in
yeah,
the verb as well.
you really can. But when it comes to French, you have to be a little more careful because you have je parle français, tu parles
Mm-hmm.
français.
Mm-hmm.
Same same meaning, two different conjugations, but they sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like saying il parle français.
Yeah. I think the only difference I think is like if the next word after the verb starts with a vowel, if I recall,
Usually, yeah.
versus like you would say je parle anglais, and like I think if you say like you speak French, no, not French, you speak
English.
English, as you would say tu parles anglais,
Yeah.
if I
That's like the only
because
time it's different. But when you have a word that's a consonant, you got a little bit of a problem there.
yeah.
Now the other difference is when you're like saying I do or I make in French between I and you, because then it's the same letter at the end.
Mm-hmm.
The only time it's not the same letter at the end of that verb is when it's he or she, in which it's a T and not an S. So like if so like all the same, uh, all different statements, different subjects, but the verb sounds all the same when you're like je fais croissant, or tu fais croissant, il fait croissant, elle fait croissant. Things like that.
So sorry, you kind of cut out for a second. Did you
I
ask me a
wondered. You're
question?
like, video froze for a while here.
Yeah.
That was so weird. I wondered what was happening because I was like talking, and then all of a sudden I see her screen go frozen. I'm like, mannequin challenge? Question mark? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I
It
was.
could be my connection. It just said like my internet connection is unstable or something, but I think it's fine. Like,
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't see anything on my end. It's not like the episode where I was in California and we were like so
yeah.
spotty.
Yeah, definitely. It was
That
really bad.
that was rough.
I'm surprised we even made it through that episode.
Made it through. I'm surprised we even made it half an hour into the episode.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing I'm surprised about is that we made it half an hour into the episode.
Yeah.
But man, that was a spotty episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just saying that the when it comes to like I make, you make, she he makes, she makes, they all sound the same.
Hmm.
And I just kind of used the example of like I make croissants. So I was like,
Yeah.
je fais croissant, tu fais croissant, il fait croissant, elle fait croissant. They all
Let's,
sound the same.
yes. Yes, they do.
And
But that's kind of why French, like English, is one where it is subject dependent. Unless you're making a command. But that's kind of why it's subject dependent.
yeah, I've learned usually with like commands. Like you'll definitely hear this when you're at like a fencing tournament. Uh,
Yeah. Allez.
yeah, allez, that's like you go. Like vous allez. That's
Vous
kind of
allez.
where it comes from. There's other ones that people will use like Mayday is actually one
Mayday.
people scream out, which is really just like uh, you help me.
Mayday. Mayday.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We don't spell it the way it should be spelled. Funny enough, because when
Yeah.
we actually shout it and mean it, people tend to spell it Mayday, but where it
Hmm.
actually comes from is M apostrophe AIDEZ.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those. Not only did we Americanize the pronunciation of it, we Americanized the spelling of it
Yep.
so that we could
If
use it
I
in emergency situations.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of based on like you take the subject pronoun not subject object pronoun of like like you help me, well, I guess me, but like you help me, and then you take the vous conjugation of adere, and then you just kind of merge them together, and since Ede starts with an A, which is a vowel. You shorten the M to be made.
Yeah, it's it's definitely an interesting one with French. it's
Yep.
it's probably one of the harder things I would say about French. Now, the nice thing about how French and Spanish work in the future side of things is just kind of the big common one where you just add an extra letter at the ending.
Yeah.
And then, based on the language, the extra emphases or the extra accent mark
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah. I'd say that honestly, I think the future tense is honestly one of the easier tenses,
It
in my
really is.
opinion, because it's just like you take the infinitive version, which is kind of the natural version, and that is used, and then you conjugate from that, and then you just add the right ending.
Yeah,
That's it. And I think there's like a couple of like differences. Like sometimes you would have to change the spelling of the original just to make it. But like the general rule is that you just take the infinitive, attach the ending after the end.
yeah. I can't be the only one who thinks it weird that that for any language really, the future tense is generally the easiest to handle.
Yeah, I mean in English, I think it's one of the easy ones to handle.
I mean, in English, all you do is add will before the verb, and then you're good. Like
Yep.
I will go, like that. That's all you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And
Really?
Haitian Creole is kind of the same way. Moi prêt à aller. I will go.
Vale. Yeah. I
I've
don't
also
even get why the future tense of all the tenses is why is that one the easiest?
I don't know because again with like Spanish to say like to say like I will go. It's like yo irá. You know,
Yo era. Yeah, I thought it was ire.
ire is probably that.
Yeah, I was thinking like because if I remember at least or in the future tense is like for the yo form, it's like the one that you use is e.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, and then a is the one that you use for the la instead. So yeah, I think that's how it is. But yeah, but still, ultimately, it's kind of easy when you remember that.
Yes. Yes, it is. And I even looked into this a little bit. Even Arabic future tense is similar to English, where you just add a word before the verb, and it's future tense.
Yeah, that seems to be a common thing. You just take the original verb. You just take the original verb, and then just add something before or after it.
I believe I actually wrote it down in my notes. I actually have my language study journal here. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I might have some English. I might. Yeah, I have some of mine here too. Let's see, I have a so yeah, I have my French, Asian Creole, Swahili, Swedish, Japanese. I don't think I have a Spanish one because that one I learned throughout. I didn't really start making books, but
Well, that is about Hindi sentence structure.
and then there's also I will say there is technically another future
That's
tense for
Hindi.
like other ones, but it where it's just saying I'm going to, at least in like Spanish and French and like in English we have like I'm going to go here or I'm going to sleep or something like that. Like voy a dormir.
Yeah,
Ve, vesa, dormir. Yeah, kind of like that. So yeah, there is that one too. That one's also kind of easy. You just take it's kind of the same thing where he said you just take the infinitive and then just put a word or two before.
yeah. I'm I'm seeing the notes that I have about future tense in Arabic. So, as I have it written down, all you need is the present tense verb, the subject, and the word will in Arabic, which is south. So, like the example that I have, Samir Salf Yakul Jaid, which is Samir will be fine
Hmm.
in Arabic. Now, past tense is a little bit different. You do have to conjugate past tense,
Yeah.
and you also have to conjugate present tense in Arabic. So, thankfully, I did have to learn what the infinitive form is
Hmm.
for verbs in Arabic, and it's interesting to me because there are two different verb words on their own in Arabic. One that signifies present and one that signifies past. So you have to conjugate those.
Hmm.
And it's only like a small difference you have to worry about with both of those. It's only like a one letter difference from what I've
Yeah.
noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also have my French one. You can't see it because it's gray and white. But yeah, kind of is you take the imperative form of the word, right, and add the appropriate future ending. A, I, on, on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of do that for each. And then there are, like Spanish, there are irregulars. Like apparently, if you say like aler, if you're doing the future tense of that, it would be like erai, erai. If I say gerai, or something like that. And then like pouvoir is like pour, and voir is ver. But it's like, and like we also have like tenir, tien, dissections, tiendre. In Spanish, it's like tender, tender. Like if I want to say I will have, I'd say a tendre, tendre, like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are irregulars in those versions in like Spanish and French future, but overall it's mostly simple.
Yeah, it's all relatively simple all in the end, when you really look at the big scale of things.
Yeah,
Um,
and I mean like also I mean like and we can't really just and we can't really like write off the future just because there's some irregulars, especially when you
yeah,
consider that
we
there's irregulars in both the present and the past versions of both French and Spanish too.
yeah, it's not exactly easy for us to do
In
that
French.
anyway. So it's probably
Yeah.
best that we just don't mess with how the future works in languages. The thing,
Yeah.
the thing that, at least for me, that I'm still trying to figure out is when I've noted how things work in like Russian or Polish. Same verb, but they also have two different kinds where they have a perfect and an imperfect form.
Yeah.
That's still something I'm trying to figure out. Like I know the verbs. I'm still trying to discern like when do I use the perfect, when do I use the imperfect form? Like is it the same as Arabic where one is used for the present, one is used for the past? That I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that either.
Another thing that I got to research.
Yep.
I don't know. But yeah, the conjugate the conjugations are fairly interesting. People don't tend to call the things that happen in Swahili conjugations funny enough, but they
Hmm.
do but they do have their own way of determining past, present, or future. Which,
So it's like conjugations, but without set calling it conjugations.
yeah, yeah, it pretty much is. And I don't want to ignite the same thing, but Kinyo Rwanda is the same. That is one of the ways Kinyo Rwanda and Swahili are similar. Every other way, nada. Don't even try
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
I don't want to bring that up again, but
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't sit. Yeah. So yeah, I personally probably won't do that. Swahili, Kinyarwanda, two different languages.
They really are. They are very much two different languages. And it's very much one of those you pick your poison, which one you want to learn. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like that with any language. I mean,
Yeah.
you go
Pick
into.
your poison. You can even take multiple poisons
You really can.
if you wish.
You could be in Josh and I's situation where you pick as many poisons as you want and still enjoy it.
Yep.
That's really where you could be at with all of it.
Yeah. Soon you guys could probably, if you do, sometimes you could probably even have like 50 books or even just a huge binder of languages.
Dude, you're putting me to shame.
Yeah. To be fair, they're not all fit. I mean, like most of them aren't completely filled out. Like they're still like, I don't even think I have a half of a single one complete, but still like these
Still.
are kind of These are kind of, yeah, you don't have to go as crazy as I do with notebooks.
Seriously, like I only have
Don't,
the one.
yeah, you don't have to go as crazy as me, but sometimes I like to keep my things organized.
It's like I pull out my one notebook and then you pull out like five
Yeah,
notebooks.
these aren't even all of them. I think
I quit.
I think I even have like a Mandarin one in my backpack here. Yeah, it's the only one that's purple.
You're putting me to shame here, man.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. Some and some sections I talk about like numbers. Other ones I just mainly I've been using this Mandarin one for like my class and some assignments that or like classwork that we're doing. But yeah, I still do talk about like the sentence structure here, talking about like like a, a little bit of a tangent from our original subject, like how the sentence structure in Chinese is subject, time, I think it was position, and verb, object.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of like that.
man. I still can't
But
wrap I still can't wrap my head around what just happened. I mean, I keep my notebook fairly organized. Like it's got like three dividers in it. So it's like the first set is like letters and the pronunciations of those letters in different languages.
yep.
Even some of the Latinized ones like Icelandic are in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's what I try to do with each of them. And like the first page, I talk about like how each mainly like the different ones ends are the ones I focus on in the front page because in some cases, if I just went over everything, even if they just repeat, then I'm just gonna do everything forever. Like in front of this is my Japanese one. This used to be another note. This used to be another notebook, but then I didn't. I ended up not really using it for anything else, so I just kind of took off the paper that was in front of it. Yeah, like here I have both the hiragana and katakana characters, kana in them, kind of just as the table.
Yeah,
And that yeah, this is probably the only one where I cut out and pasted that. Maybe if I get a Korean, I'd do the same thing, but who knows?
yeah, I didn't do that with I didn't do that with mine. Mine is legit just my own handwriting, writing out the characters. But it's like the first section is focused on like the letters and the pronunciations of those. The second section is like vocabulary and conjugations and whatnot, and then the last
Mm-hmm.
section is all sentence and grammar based. So,
Yep.
and it's a good splurge of different languages for each page. But again, I just can't wrap my head around the fact that I like pull out my one, and then you start pulling off one, and then you pull off another, and then you pull off another, and then you pull off another, and then you pull the fifth one out, and then you pull out the sixth one out of your bag.
Yeah. And again, these that is not all of them. A lot of my other ones are in storage right now.
Oh
So
man, that would have been really funny if you had like said that and then pulled out like five more off your shelf.
yeah, it would have been so funny.
But hopefully we get to see some of those notebooks make an appearance in future episodes.
Yeah, potentially. My if my parents come up and visit me and bring some of my stuff, I can search for them. But that depends.
Yeah,
Or maybe like when I head down to Utah to visit my parents at some point, maybe I'll take some of that.
who knows?
Yeah,
Well, this has been a pretty eventful episode.
yeah. So we didn't really end a lot on conjugations. I mean, I guess I can talk about it. Just like I guess TLDR conjugations. It's definitely one thing that you need to keep in mind when you're doing another language. Some of them, like in Mandarin or uh, Haitian Creole, it's really simple, but other times it gets way more complicated. And like in I guess like Spanish and
Yeah,
French, they can get pretty complicated. But yeah, that's what I would say overall. Just keep conjugations in mind no matter what language.
yeah. And if we ever revisit this topic again, and I'm sure we will, then we'll try and do our best to refocus on, good strategies on how to best remember the conjugations. Because that's kind of the biggest kicker when it comes to conjugating verbs is remembering what those conjugations are.
Yeah, like I would say, yeah, like as I said, like the boot method for like when it comes to stem changers in Spanish, that's a good one to remember. And then like same in French though, not necessarily for stem changers though, kind of yes as well. I think uh in French, kind of the boot is where you consider the present verbs that don't change the sound even though they change the spelling. I think
Yeah,
that's good to recognize. So yeah, we can definitely go talk more about that in later episodes, especially if y'all really want to learn about that.
oh, for sure. Easily. But yeah, with that, it's time for us to sign off for this episode. Episode 7,
Yep.
man. Man, the time has flown with this
Yep.
podcast. Like, holy cow.
Yeah. Already on 7 episodes.
Let's keep this up. Let's keep this going.
Yeah, let's keep this ball rolling. And
Uh,
maybe at some point we can get some guests here soon.
hopefully. Hopefully, yeah. It'd be awesome to get their perspective on the world of language learning and some of the strategies they've used.
Yeah. And honestly, if some of y'all think you have a really just want to get into the conversation, you can comment. And maybe if like you're dedicated enough and find time, we can maybe even invite you onto the episode.
For sure. Yeah, We want to include you guys in all aspects.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, it is time to sign off.
Yep.
We thank you guys for listening in, and hopefully you guys get the chance to join us again in our future episodes. We'll see you all later.
Yeah. Adios.
Au revoir.
Auf Wiedersehen.
До свидания. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you have a suggestion for what you want us to discuss, please leave us a message either through our email or through social media. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope you sit with us again in the Language Learners Lounge.